In the early 2000s, our family seemed to embody the ideal of close-knit unity. My parents, John and Claire, were the cornerstone of our lives. We celebrated every milestone together: birthdays, holidays, and school achievements. As children, my twin sister Sarah and I, both 8 years old, were the center of their world. This stability came crashing down in 2003, when a betrayal of unimaginable proportions shattered our lives. It all began when my father discovered that my mother was having an affair with his childhood best friend, Mark. Mark had been more than just a friend. He was like a brother to my father, a trusted companion through the highs and lows of life. The betrayal was not just personal, but felt like a profound violation of something sacred. My father, heartbroken, begged my mother to reconsider to salvage their marriage, but she had already made her decision. The divorce came swiftly, and within 5 months, my mother married Mark. The split was tumultuous and deeply painful. Sarah and I were caught in the middle, with our loyalties divided. Sarah chose to stay with our mother, while I remained with my father. This decision left an indelible mark on our family dynamics, creating a rift that would only deepen with time. In the aftermath of the divorce, the emotional landscape of our family was irrevocably altered. My father was devastated. He attempted to maintain a facade of normalcy, but behind closed doors, his sorrow was palpable. I would often hear him crying himself to sleep, the sound a haunting reminder of the depth of his pain. Despite his efforts to shield us from his anguish, the effects of the divorce were evident. Sarah, once the epitome of a daddy's girl, began to drift away. Her choice to remain with our mother, coupled with the emotional distance that followed, strained her relationship with our father. The man who had once been her rock and confidant now felt like a distant, unreachable figure. As Sarah excelled academically and professionally, becoming a promising law student and later a lawyer, the chasm between her and our father grew wider. Mark, who had become a mentor to her, further complicated the situation. My father watched from the sidelines as Sarah's life continued to flourish under Mark's influence. The pain of seeing his daughter thrive in the very sphere of life that had torn their family apart was a constant reminder of his own personal loss. By 2017, Sarah was preparing for her wedding, an event my father had eagerly anticipated. He had always dreamed of walking her down the aisle, a moment he had looked forward to since she was a little girl. To him, this was not just a ceremonial act, but a deeply personal milestone. However, just before the wedding, Sarah delivered a devastating blow. She had chosen for both my father and Mark to walk her down the aisle. The decision sparked a confrontation of unprecedented intensity. My father, who was usually non-confrontational, could not contain his frustration and hurt. The argument that ensued was unlike anything we had ever witnessed. It was a clash of emotions and values, with my father unable to reconcile the presence of the man who had betrayed him in such a significant role. Ultimately, my father's pain led him to make a drastic decision. He would not attend the wedding. The fallout from this decision was immediate and severe. Sarah's wedding, intended to be a joyous occasion, became a symbol of the deep fractures in our family. The rift between Sarah and my father widened, reaching a point where reconciliation seemed impossible. The aftermath of the wedding was a period of profound estrangement. Sarah attempted numerous times to reach out and make amends, but my father remained resolute in his refusal to engage with her. Even when Sarah became a mother in 2018, the door remained firmly closed. The joy of her new family did nothing to mend the broken relationship with her father as time went on. The emotional weight of this estrangement became increasingly burdensome. The refusal to see Sarah or acknowledge her children was a source of unending sorrow for her. She was left grappling with the reality that her father would never be part of her life again, nor would he ever meet his grandchildren. In early 2024, my father's health took a drastic turn for the worse. Diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer, his prognosis was grim. The rapid decline was a harsh reminder of the fragility of life. As he faced his final days, he remained adamant about his decision not to reconcile with Sarah. This steadfast refusal was a source of immense anguish for her, as she desperately sought a final opportunity to mend their relationship. The last weeks of my father's life were marked by intense suffering. His condition deteriorated rapidly, and the pain was both physical and emotional. Despite the severity of his illness, he remained clear-headed enough to offer farewells to me and my siblings, as well as his granddaughters, Elevenmo and Tuyo. The moments he spent with them were filled with love and tenderness. A stark contrast to the suffering he endured. My father's funeral was a bittersweet occasion. It was a celebration of his life, and the many ways he had touched those around him. Sarah, who had not seen her father since the night before her wedding, was profoundly affected by the experience. Seeing him so frail and changed was a painful reminder of the years lost, and the unresolved issues between them. The funeral was marred by additional drama when our mother and Mark attempted to attend. My uncles, fiercely protective of my father's legacy, were forced to remove them from the ceremony. Their presence was a painful reminder of the betrayal that had fractured our family. In his will, my father divided his assets among us equally, including Sarah. He also established a trust fund for all his grandchildren, including Sarah's children, whom he had never met. This gesture was consistent with his desire to provide for his family, even in death. However, the personal touches he included in his letters and photo albums for each of us were absent for Sarah. This omission was a final painful blow, leaving Sarah with a sense of profound regret. The weeks following my father's death were a period of intense grief and reflection. Sarah struggled with the absence of the personal letter and the realization that her relationship with our father would remain forever incomplete. Her emotional breakdown led to hospitalization, and it was clear that the weight of regret and sorrow was taking a significant toll on her well-being. Amidst this turmoil, my wife and I discovered that we were expecting another child. The news, while joyous, was tempered by the knowledge that my father would never meet this new grandchild. The absence of his guidance and support in my own parenting journey filled me with fear and uncertainty. The void left by his death was a heavy burden, and the prospect of raising another child without his input was daunting. The loss of my father has left a deep and lasting impact on my life. The pain of his absence, the unresolved issues with Sarah, and the challenges of moving forward without his support have created a complex emotional landscape. As I navigate this new reality, I am forced to confront the harsh truths about life's inherent unfairness and the ways in which it can upend even the most well-laid plans. The journey of grief and acceptance is ongoing. I am determined to honor my father's memory by striving to be the best father I can be to my children. Despite the void left by his absence, I carry with me the lessons and love he imparted. The road ahead is uncertain, but it is one I must walk with resilience and hope, holding on to the cherished memories of my father while striving to build a future for my family. The story of my family is a testament to the complexities of human relationships, the enduring pain of betrayal, and the struggle to find meaning and healing in the face of loss. While the scars remain, there is a glimmer of hope that, with time, we can find a way to move forward, honoring the legacy of those we have lost while embracing the new chapters of our lives.